All right. Well, let's finally get into Sunday's game matchup against the Saints. I think the Niners are just gonna lose pretty handily, but anything could happen in the NFL.
Right.
Kyle Shanahan has gotten more time to prepare for this one and getting some players back like Ayuk. I think Bourne is gonna be good to go.
Yeah.
Debo's still out. Running backs are still depleted. But how do you see this game panning out here?
I honestly, like, if I'm being 100% real, I think the Saints just blow them out of the water because, I mean, we look at last year, the defense had a really hard time with the Saints, and mostly because Drew Brees gets the ball so quick. He does
Yeah.
not hold on to that ball like he is. You saw last year, even as good as the Niners pass rush was, the guy, I think, one sack because he's like, hike, boom, and he's just so quick. Like, he gives you no time to get to him. And with this pass rush being a shell of what that was, with cornerbacks who aren't good at guarding, who's going to guard, Thomas, who's going to can't guard Mike, like Verrett, like, I mean, maybe he'll do all right, but, then you have Emmanuel Sanders. I think Sanders has a huge day. Kamara out of the backfield. I just don't, honestly, I just don't see this going well just because I don't think the Niners defense can even remotely stop the Saints offense. I mean, like
You
the Niners
brought
may go
something.
put points,
Yeah,
but
you brought something up pretty interesting. I didn't think about it. Like, yeah, Drew Brees really does get the ball out quick, and I think Styles makes fights right, like you always bring up. And last year, obviously the Niners wanted to rush the quarterback and get to the quarterback, and the Saints were just like, we're just gonna play our game and
yeah,
give all these dump passes and screens off to Kamara and Thomas, and so I'm like, it has me thinking, does that play right into like this year? Does that play right into the Niners' hands? Like maybe they want the quarterback to get it because like if they have time in the pocket, they're gonna go and throw it deep, and that's Niners really get hurt that way. Does that? I guess maybe I'm overthinking it, but I do think my knee jerk reaction is that the Niners are gonna get blown out.
yeah,
Now, I can also see it being kind of, low scoring. Niners still have a chance, but I don't see them winning at all. Just for the simple fact that the Saints are coming off a very high victory against Tampa Bay. They had the video afterwards, Sean Payne even celebrating and dancing.
he's
I feel
dancing. That
like
was hilarious.
they're feeling themselves a little bit, and maybe they're overlooking the 49ers, which I hope they are. Makes it more
Yeah,
interesting that way. And the Niners go in there a little bit more rest, more focus, some players back, and just execute here and there. Obviously, the better team will win ultimately, but I could see it going one or two ways. They get blown out, run out of the water, or it just gets interesting going into the fourth, and then they just pull away.
yeah. I mean, I think. I mean, if we're being like just completely objective, take the Niners, our fandom out of it. Like the way the Niners are going to win this game, I think is they're going to have to create turnovers, right? They're going to have to create turnovers. Some
Yeah.
interceptions, maybe some fumbles. That's how they're gonna. That's how this is going to have to happen. I just don't see. In the shootout, I don't see them winning. No offense. I mean, especially if you don't have like if Debo and Mostert were back, okay, maybe I'm looking and going, okay, you know what? Maybe they can win in a shootout, right? If Mullins just
Yeah.
has the game of his life, okay, I could see that. I could see that. But with no Debo, because I just think Debo just makes that is a straw that stirs the drink. Like he just really, and then having Mostert with his big playability, like having to rely on McKinnon, having to rely on Hasty, and look, they're not bad.
I've been dead wrong on McKinnon, man. He looks like a shell of himself, man.
He
Like,
doesn't have that burst. He just doesn't have that
yeah.
that quick. They call him the jet, and he no.
Was the opposite of a jet.
No, he's jet with blown out tires. Like, I mean, and he's still a good
He's
player. Like,
jet lagged.
yeah, he has. he catches the ball. He does everything you want him to do. He just doesn't have that burst, So it just if you said most of the you said Debo's back, okay, yeah, but without those two, it's like, man, you're gonna have to manufacture a lot of offense. And then how good is the O-line play? That was the thing against the Bucks was that Saints D line started, they started teeing like they got a lead and then they started teeing off on Brady. Like I
Yeah.
think he only got sacked once, but he was getting hit constantly, and that's what I worry about. And the Bucks have a decent O line. I'm just afraid that the Saints are going to get a lead and start doing the same to the Niners, and it's like we see in Mullins, there's one issue he has, like, he starts getting pressure. He starts throwing balls up for grabs. He starts
Yeah.
throwing pop
That's true.
flies. Like, here you go, guys. Like, like he doesn't know how to take a sack. So that worries
Yeah.
that, you may see one or two of those. I think the Niners, you have to create turnovers. If they can get two or more turnovers, yes. If it's like one, no. Like they need to be at least +2 in the turnover. I don't think they can go. It can't be a track meet like it was last year. I just don't think they have like no Kittle, no. Think about all the people that had last season that helped them win the track meet. Mostert was huge. Emmanuel Sanders was huge. Kittle was huge. None of those guys are on. Well, Sanders will be on field, but in a different jersey, like. So to try to get into a track meet, Debo is on it. He won't be there. That's a lot of missing offensive firepower to
That's
get into
true.
a track meet. And you need to I think they need to be at least +2 in the turnover.
Yeah, that's
That's,
true.
yeah.
And yeah, you're honestly right. And as crazy as it sounds, I'm like, I'd hope that the defense doesn't blitz as much as they're accustomed to, just because that's another way Drew Brees is going to tear you apart. Is just if you leave a man open and bring more pressure because you're trying to get to the quarterback. I mean, like I said, last year didn't work on a 4-man rush. I expect them to just keep that 4-man rush. Like, don't even blitz. Like, just you have a better chance trying to guard them than just leaving one guy open chasing after the quarterback, because Drew Brees is so good at
Yeah.
reading that. So yeah, we'll see what Salah brings, and like you mentioned, Debo and Moster being out, that's just another blow. I was hoping to see Debo this game, but for some reason he didn't practice.
I think they're just holding them for after him and Mostert. I think they just said, you know what? Let's just get fully healthy. Let's instead of bringing him back, and especially I think with leg injuries too, hamstrings and those kind of things. Like, it's like, look, we can give him an extra, basically 2 weeks, right? Like, let's give him the extra full 2 weeks, and maybe we can make a run. I think that's probably like to a man. I'm guessing that's what Shanahan would say. Like, in all honesty, like, look, if we lose this game, it's fine. We're 4-6, but the way everybody's kind of grouped together, it's like,
Yeah,
dude, if we could go 5-1 on the second, in those last 6 games we have, like, and get to 9 wins, does 9 win get them into the playoffs? There's a good chance 9 could do it. 8 may do it. They need to go 4-2. Like, 8 wins could get them in the playoffs because everybody's just kind of grouped together basically. So depending on how the rest of the season shakes out, 8 wins could do it for you. So he may be looking at it and saying, look, if I can get Debo back fully healthy and Mostert back fully healthy, and after a bye, get a little more time with Nick, a little more time to craft an offense, Ayuk, everybody, okay, I think we can, at least offensively be that juggernaut, score 35 a game, take a little bit of pressure off the defense. Because this is a time where, the offense just needs to kick up the production, unfortunately. Because it's like, look, the defense is not going to be able to do what they were able to do last season, get you turnovers, get sacks. I mean, even the games where they gave up points, they still would get you a timely turnover. They did against the Saints. They got, a timely turnover, that fumble recovery, or against the Seahawks. Like, they're able to give you timely sacks, timely turnovers. They're able to produce that, make a play for you. This is not the season for that, unfortunately. They don't have those guys, like you said. They don't have the playmakers in the secondary that can do that for you, and they don't have them on the D line either. Fred Warner's kind of it.